deepen our awareness of that dimension. And the sacred is everywhere. If you become truly present, you would find the sacredness everywhere. It's easier here. In certain places that are called sacred, there is less of a density in the structures, the physical structures, the forms. There is a transparency almost to the forms. Something shines through the forms. And this is why we call those places sacred. But even here, there are some people who cannot sense that because they are not present enough when they walk in the garden. They are still in their head thinking about where they are going the day after tomorrow and the accumulation of problems, which are thought forms that are part of their sense of self. I have important problems to think about. And occasionally you get a glimpse, 3 seconds of presence, and you get a glimpse, and immediately there comes the movement of thought again. So some people cannot be present here. Most of you can, and those who cannot, I believe, will quickly deepen and see how easy it is to be present and how hard it is not to be present. Normally people tell me the opposite. They say it's so hard to be present. And this is what the mind believes. But the opposite is true. Not being present to the now is hard. To live trapped in your mind is hard. That makes living into something that is a struggle and an effort. And you never get there. You never make it because you live for the future, which is only a thought form. And this is another aspect of living trapped in thought, with your whole sense of self trapped in thought, hoping that at some point you will find yourself, complete yourself, or it's all going to work out in the end. And in the way the mind imagines it, it cannot work out. Because every form dies, and every structure eventually dissolves again. And the mind only thinks in terms of forms and structures, and it hopes that life will work itself out on that level of structures and forms. And it's always disappointed because it cannot. And the miracle is, it's already working out at this very moment. It's already as it should be at this moment. You have already arrived at the place of sacredness at this moment. It's easier to see it here, to sense that here. More difficult to feel that this moment is sacred when you find yourself at Piccadilly Circus or Times Square. And you need to be an enlightened being, perhaps, which simply means very present, to see the sacredness in the flashing Coca-Cola sign at Piccadilly Circus. And you need to be a Buddha to see the sacredness in a prison camp. And if one says the prison camp also has the dimension of the sacred, if one says that prematurely, this will be misunderstood and really will not make sense unless you know within yourself that that which is beyond form, the one formless life, is indestructible. And some people who were in prison camps realized it for themselves. So we are here to find that dimension that is deeper than thought within ourselves, that has nothing to do with time. And so people ask sometimes, how do I still my mind? I want to find the stillness. And then, yes, there are some good meditation methods. And eventually that also has to be left behind, otherwise it comes in between who you are. You put a method there to find yourself. That is a space between you and yourself. And every method eventually needs to be left behind. You don't need it, it's the last thing you leave behind. And this particular teaching works without methods. But if you have a method, it's beautiful, and you use it until you don't need it anymore. Every thought in your mind, when you're not aware of it as a thought, has a sense of self in it. A sense of I am. You identify with the movement of thought. And that is the essence of unconscious living. And that is why people continuously live for the future. The thought form of future where they are hoping to complete their insufficient sense of self. The happy ending of my story. This is not to say you should not pursue certain activities, learn new things, explore new countries, meet new people, learn this and that, acquire knowledge, expertise here and there, develop your abilities, physical or mental, and create whatever you are called upon to create in this world. It is beautiful to create in this world. And on that level, of course, there is always more that you could do. And as you grow older, there are certain things that you can no longer do. So gradually, on the level of form, your life becomes reduced. There are already many, many things that it is unlikely that I will be able to do. I'm not going to win the title at Wimbledon anymore. It would be a miracle if I managed to do that. Not totally impossible, but I'm not even going to try it. And many other things would say, well, it's too late. And this is true. It's for many things, it's too late. On the level of form, I need to accept, yes, no, I'm not going to be the heavyweight boxing champion. It's just too late for that, or it never was possible. So on the level of form, yes, depending on where you are, in years, there may still be many things that you can add to what you can do and what you know and what you explore. Or it may be that you're reaching the end of the lifespan of this form, so there's little time left and there isn't that much more that you can add to yourself. And that's fine too. Now the question is, are you looking for yourself when you attempt to add more to who you are? And that is the dilemma of human existence. There is a compulsive searching for more. Not that there's anything wrong with doing new things. No. But there is a compulsive striving towards the next moment and the next, hoping to add more to who I think I am. Thought forms. Possessions, attainments, recognition by other people, all thought forms. I have not enough yet, I don't feel secure enough, I only have 5 houses and 3 cars, and I still don't feel secure. And I think the houses are not big enough. That must be the reason. Or they write about me in the papers and then, okay, by the way, I don't have 5 houses, it's just an example. Or to get recognition they all write about me, and then I read in the papers, finally people have recognized who I am. They think I'm great. And that temporarily gives you the feeling of I have now added that universal recognition to who I think I am. And many people strive for that. They think, when are they going to discover me? When are they going to realize that I am special? They may never realize it. There is a search for specialness in the mind-made sense of self that in some cases is fulfilled and in most cases is not fulfilled on the level where it's seeking. And so in either case, that sense of specialness, you could say, there are 2 ways of being unhappy: not getting what you want and getting what you want. Because all the people who have attained universal recognition in whatever field, they are not happy either. They are not at peace with themselves. They do not feel the sense of security and the sense of finally having arrived that before they had it, they had associated with that idea. Once people recognize me, then I will have arrived. And then the moment comes, and at first it feels good, and then you see that people's opinion of you are only thought forms. They are images that they create, or if they are very well known, the media creates a fiction that has your name. And then you read about yourself in the paper and you see, who is this? They're writing about, there's nothing to do with me at all. And so many people become unhappy, even more unhappy when they attain recognition. The world tells them, yes, you are special, and yet I don't feel special. Or they see this is an illusion, that's not me, it's an image, a mind-created image. And a few people then go beyond all the mind-created sense of identity because they have attained what the world tells us is desirable: wealth, property, recognition, attainment here or there, and yet it has